Oh, it's my studio. I'm a little rusty on how to get all my streams going, but give me a sec. In the meantime, it's our last Ask Your Angels for a while. Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Thanks for joining. So if you got questions for your angels, then definitely pop them in the chat box. If you are on YouTube, you're going to need to navigate to one of my pages, either the Zoom room if you're on my email list, or the Facebook, my Facebook page, or my Zoom and YouTube. There we go. Cool. We had a really great class yesterday. Learn how to talk to your angels. It was so awesome. Every single person in class was able to talk to their divine team, even if just a little bit, which is so cool. I did try to send out the replay for that, and I was having some technical difficulties. Of course, we're not even in Mercury retrograde yet. And my technology is already showing signs of the retrograde coming. So I'm going to have to get really deep into meditation with Mercury and be like, bro, let's be friends. We don't have to fight Mercury. We can all get along. Okay, last one. We'll just go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're not going to do Instagram today for no other reason other than I just don't feel like it. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Are we live on Facebook yet? It says propagating. So we're propagating on Facebook. Just want to make sure. Aha! And we're live. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day to the mamas that are following, that will watch this later. I considered perhaps not having this class today, but since it's Mother's Day, but I'm like, no, I want to do class. All right. Do class, and then Serafina and I are going to do our fun stuff. We've got friends coming over and adventures. So good morning for everybody joining. This is the DÄ Ministries weekly live stream. We stream every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And just a little bit of an overview about DÄP. What is DÄP? Hi, Jen. Good morning. Shantaya. Hi. Thank you for joining us. So DÄP Ministries is a nonprofit, and it's essentially broken up into two pots. Now, I own two companies. I own a for-profit company, Transformation Central, under which I do coaching, one-on-one private coaching, transformation, money mindset, etc. So that's separate. This is my nonprofit, DÄP Ministries Incorporated, and DÄP stands for Divine Evolutionary Path. And we're split up into two pots. One pot is on the ground, hands-on, making a positive difference in the world, action. And so our first initiative for DÄP Ministries is that we are building transitional homes for kids aging out of foster care, and also for homeless young adults between the age of 18 to 24. And there's a lot of reasons why this project is close to my heart. As if you've been watching for a while, you know. If you know me, you know. But I was raised in foster care. So I've had, a deep, intimate experience with what that's like. I was fortunate enough to reunite with my birth mother. So when I aged out of foster care, I had somewhere to go. Most kids don't. They don't have somewhere to go, and they get kicked out usually on their 18th birthday, the day their foster family stops receiving money from the government. And every time I tell this story, especially in person, people are like, what the fuck? because really, but so many families, and this is not true of all families, but so many families get into fostering because of how many benefits there are from the government. Some people just live on it, and they pack their homes, and they could give a shit about the kids that are in their homes. So, a lot of times these kids have been through so much trauma. We want to create nurturing transitional spaces for them where they get to heal, where they get to learn how to be successful, contributing adults. What does being an adult look like? How do you be? How do you pay bills? How do you budget? How do you not spend more money than you make? How do you express your emotion? How do you get your needs met? Right? 80% of inmates in prison came through the foster care or group home system. So obviously something needs to be done, and people are working hard. Like, there's lots of people who care, but more needs to be done. And so that's where we're coming in. Especially what makes us unique is the healing aspect of it, is making sure that no matter what trauma these kids have seen, that they come out of the homes functioning, healthy, self-initiated leaders. Hi, Linz. Happy Mother's Day to you, sweetness. So that's one part. We're raising money for Abby's house, which is our first flagship house. It's going to be here in Los Angeles, California. Probably in Santa Clarita, but we'll see what the housing situation is when our funds are ready. And then the other half of DÄP Ministries is actually an education portion, because the divine evolutionary path are simple, practical steps that anyone can take to experience their highest, most lit up life of evolution and abundance. Good morning, Shelly. Happy Mother's Day to you, sweetheart. So that's what we're doing Sunday, every Sunday. Aw, thanks, Linz. Every Sunday, I teach live for free. We're teaching the principles, the practicals of DÄP Ministries. We're in the middle of track one. Track one is, gee whiz, what is track one? Oh, right. Dissolving poverty mentality. We need to dissolve poverty mentality on a global scale, because that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hi, happy Mother's Day, Nancy. What a beautiful, sweet mama you are to those gorgeous kiddos. So we need to dissolve poverty mentality so that the world can rise in its abundance mindset. So that's track one. We're just teaching kind of about money, our relationship with money, and we're deep in a trust module, because you can't live a lit up life of abundance if you don't trust Creator, if you don't trust yourself, and if you don't trust other people. So we're teaching some philosophy, and then we're doing some classes. We've been in a module about how to build your trust with others. That is coming to a close, because I was told this morning this is our last Ask Your Angels for a while. We're moving back into teaching philosophy, but they kind of just wanted to tread water and not move on too quickly, because just aligning the philosophy and teachings up with the actual healing work and the classes, which are happening in between during the week, during the DÄP Ministries live stream. So everybody who's on Zoom gets to have their questions answered first. But before I answer, your questions. I'm going to get to the questions that were asked last week that I didn't get to. So there's a question from Kelly Ray. Kelly Ray asks, oh, and just to give you, if you've never seen Ask Your Angels, just to give you a little brief synopsis, during my own healing path from my incredible trauma, I was prompted to connect with my angels, like specifically the archangels that were leaders on my team. Now my divine team of light is made of a lot of different beings, but back then it was just angels, just archangels. And in the meantime, in order to solidify my belief and trust in my communication with them, they had me stop going live and just answering questions. And that was a really fun exploratory time, because at that time, most of the people that were asking questions were people I'd never known, never met before, just people who follow me on social media. So that was kind of fun. Good morning, Shelly. That was kind of fun because without question, the angels were always right. Even if the person who was receiving the answer didn't like what the answer was, or didn't agree with what the answer was, or couldn't relate with what that answer was, like time and time again, people kept coming back and being like, I didn't believe you. And then it happened. Or I didn't believe you, but what you said was like spot fucking on. And I was like, it's not me, man. Like if it was me, I'd be like, I'd have a lot more personal opinion involved in it. That's for sure. That is for sure. So it's fun. We do pop up Ask Your Angels every once in a while. They don't have me go live really doing question and answers anymore, because they really want people to connect with them on a personal level, which is why they had me do the Learn How to Speak to Your Angels class yesterday. But still, they love being here. They love offering support to their people, which is you. So if you're stumbling across this, the only time I answer questions is when I am live. So unfortunately, if you're not catching me live, then catch me next time with your question. But Kelly, what do I need to know or hear about my spiritual journey right now? Okay, so your team is like, it's so funny. They're like buckled down. They have like one of them has like one of those like the 70s accounting hats. I don't know how else to explain it. One of them, like a few of them have like their glasses on the end of their noses, and they're sitting around a table like poring over maps and documents and lists. And and it feels as if they are like right in the middle of guiding the quest. That's the energy. So there's excitement, there's intensity, there is relief. There's like a holding, there's a lot of like holding breath moments where they're like, and they'll plop something to you and they'll be like, is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? Is she going to get it? And then you get it and they're all like, yes, woo, okay, moving on. Or maybe you'll miss it and they'll be like, okay, never mind. Let's create another opportunity. So there's like this real intensity behind your team right now. Even as I'm asking them, like your question, they're just like, shh. They're like, we're trying to focus. And I'm like, hey guys, like channel here if you would like to communicate any information. Okay, most important information is like, just keep going. Can you open up? Can you open up more? Your space for receiving information is fairly open, but there's grander scales of creativity they're trying to get to you. Your ability to receive in general is lower than they need it to be. Is non-existent. Okay. Like information somehow is able to sneak in, but your ability to receive what you need, resources, is just like so really freaking low. And they're like, we need this open. So that's where they're trying to expand you right now, is within your abundance, within your own deserving. But they're like, no, it's not just deserving. It's not cliche like that. It's you have to you have to be able to integrate within your body the ability to do your work, the ability to be yourself, and receive compensation, receive energy back. They're saying it's not a one-way street. This is not, you just put energy out and that's it. No, you have to put energy out and then you have to be able to receive that energy back. That is the way of the universe. Like a lot of spiritual leaders or teachers, you have kind of the old programming that it's not okay to receive pay for your work, or to receive pay for your work somehow makes it icky or toxifies it, or kind of tarnishes the good that you're doing. But they're saying the exact opposite is true. Now, I know this, they're reinforcing that. The exact opposite. Okay. They're like, doesn't matter if you know it or not. This message isn't for you. Yes, Nancy, you can ask questions. Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day, Kat. Oh, wait, you're not a mom yet. Happy Mother's Day, Beta. Welcome, welcome. Yes, Nancy, yes. Ask questions. But I'm answering last week's questions first. Then I'll pop to the Zoom questions. I don't know if you're on my email list, but you have the link to hop on the Zoom if you want to, if you are. Okay, so cool. Okay, so they're trying to share with you, perhaps for the first time, that the exact opposite is true. When you are yourself, you have to be able to receive in order to allow the flow of the universe to just function more correctly. So in working on your ability to receive, for being you, for just shining your gifts, not for doing, but for being, in working on that, you are lubricating the flow of the universe. You are contributing to the ascension. You are contributing to making the world a better place. So that is your yay! That is that's your message for today. Hi, Nance! You found it. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so next question is for Machina. Okay, Miss Machina. Hi, Nancy. I'm so glad you found us, love. Machina's question is, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay. Machina, what happens is that you get on a path and you start doing your work, and then you feel like you've made some headway, so you just stop. You just stop cold, and you have this narrative that says, I'm fixed. And when that happens, you're fine for a while, but some of the old narratives or programs that haven't been dealt with always have a tendency to sneak back in. And it takes you back into the darkness. And it's not that you're not still growing while you're kind of concertinaing in and out of your growth. You are. It's just that your growth is so much more painstakingly slow than it would be if you just committed and stuck with growth. Now, that doesn't mean you're always pushing forward. Like sometimes within growth, we rest for a few months. We calibrate, we take a downtime. Like sometimes that's what we need. And but that's not what happens. With you, you get to a point and you feel better and you go, okay, I'm done, I'm healed. Happy Mother's Day, Marlene. Thank you. Appreciate you. Julie, it's the same link as always, babe. So just hop on. There's no trying about it. Unless you mean you're having technology issues, and then that's a totally different story. Okay. So they need you if you want to stop being done with this cycle. If you are tired of this cycle of growth, decline, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. If you're tired of feeling like you're not getting anywhere, you are. It's just that your growth, your steps are shorter, they're smaller. So it's really harder to notice your growth because it feels like you just keep going back to the same place. They're saying if you're tired of that, stop that. Stop it. Make that choice. Make that decision. You are not helpless. This is not a life where things only happen to you and you have no choices and no options. That's a fallacy. That is a misunderstanding. Oh, I see, sweetheart. Okay. You are having some technical difficulties. Got it. Okay, I'm going to copy post your question into the Zoom chat here just so I don't miss it. Yeah, it's up to you, Machina. If you're tired of it, stop. Find resources that will, hi Jenna, good morning, that will support you in continued growth. Coach, program, books, something that you can sink your teeth into that will let you keep on keeping on with your growth. Reminder, you're never going to be done. You're not going to get to a place in your life where you're like, everything that needed to be fixed is fixed now. No, it's just not possible. That just doesn't happen. So we are continuing to grow until death, and then even beyond death, we're still growing. Teresa McAllister, and Teresa's question was, am I on the right path for healing my? And since the last word isn't there, I'm just going to fill in trauma because that feels vague enough that it'll cover most of the things that that question might have been geared towards. Relationship trauma. You are on the right path. Yes, you're on the right path. There are quicker routes. There are quicker paths that you can take. You feel a little bit nervous to speed up your progress just because healing in general is quite jarring and there's a lot of shame entangled with some of your past decisions, and you get locked in these really cruel narratives with yourself, where yourself tells you really mean stuff about yourself. So I understand, and your team understands, that you're choosing not to take some of the quicker paths for you. However, they do want to remind you that there are quicker paths, and you're doing great, and they're very proud of you and for all the work that you're doing. So yes is the answer to your question. Rochelle. These are great questions. Jules, let me grab that. Yes. And this. Cool. Good morning, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. Okie dokie. Back to Rochelle. Rochelle's question. How will things shift with the current restrictions on your dreams Am I truly meant to have this dream environment? Okay. So, yes, you are truly meant to have this dream environment. That's why, even though you've tried to forget it, you've tried to palm it off, you've tried to wash it away, you've tried to, I'm not going to do this. No matter how many things you've done that have tried to help you let this go, that's why you're not able to let it go, why it has such a grip on your heart, is because this dream is for you. How will things shift with the current restrictions on your dreams? They're saying you have to do something. You, not people. You specifically have to mobilize into action. Hi, I'm answering your question from last week right now. You must have felt it. Did you hear the first bit, Rochelle? I was answering the second part of your question, which was, are you truly meant to have this dream environment? And the answer is a resounding yes, which is why it won't let you go, which is why no matter how many times, you try to convince yourself that it's just too much, you can't, you don't have the energy, like this is for somebody else, this must be, good morning, happy Mother's Day, Kathy, etc., etc. That's why this just won't let you go. Like it just won't let its grip of your heart go. And then to the first part of your question, how will things shift with the current restrictions on your dreams? They're saying you have to do something. This is a big moment for you, a big moment for you. It's a moment where you fight for yourself. You give yourself permission to fight for your dream. You do things that old versions of you would never have had the balls to do. You speak to people directly. There's like this whipping up of a frenzy kind of energy, but it's not necessarily exactly literal. Like that's not necessarily the energy that how it manifests. But there is such a call for you to get into action, and you're feeling stationary because there's this idea of, I don't know what to do. But they're reminding you that they've been whispering ideas of what to do into your heart, but it seems too big, or it seems too scary, or it seems like, well, I'm just one person. Like, how can I possibly make a difference, like in that realm? So you have historically disqualified it. You've historically disqualified it. No, that can't be right. You've got the wrong girl, which I can relate to, by the way. But yeah, things will shift with the current restrictions when you do something. And they won't give me any more information. I'm like what? And they're like, nope. Because it helps to know. They want you to ask. They want you to check in with them. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome, sweetness. Okay, Vishali, what will happen with your job after June? You have a meeting on Tuesday to find out more. Well, it feels like that was this past Tuesday, and it feels like all your questions were answered, and it feels like you don't necessarily care for 100% of what you found out, but it gave you some empowerment. You have some decisions to make, and it gave you permission to keep moving forward. So feels like your question was answered. Tamara, last question from last week, and then we're moving to the Zoom room. So Tamara, question about where to focus for your next best steps. And for those of you who are asking questions on Facebook, once I'm done with the Zoom room questions, I will be more than happy to answer your questions in whatever time we have left, but I can only see 4 comments, like the most recent 4 comments. So I might need to have you repost your question when I come back around to Facebook. So Tamara, a question about where to focus for your next best steps. Oh, I answered this one internally. Okay, yay. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Moving to our Zoom questions. Kimmy, what messages do my angels have for me today? Your grandparents are still with you. You've been feeling your grandfather come through a lot recently. They just want to say, yes, he's with you. Your grandma is with you. She's about to get more vocal. So pay attention to your thoughts. Your grandma is on your divine team of light. She was just integrating. She's kind of the newest member, so she didn't get to talk right away, but she's integrating, and she's going to come in with definitely much more of a spirit guide energy, like a pal friend energy, definitely nurturing. So she's about to, you've been begging her to be present with you and say something and say something and say something. And she's about to. She wants you to know it's not that she hasn't heard you. It's just that it wasn't time. And she wasn't ready. She was doing some stuff energetically, reintegrating back into the spirit world and things like that, which she says she's still working on. Okay. And then, yes, you're getting really strong overtones of your dad coming through. He has more amends to make. He says he knows he came through to apologize. He has more amends. Like, as he's doing his work across the veil, there's more that he wants to share. And he has some, chills. He's got some guidance for you as far as healing relationship wounds that he knows originated from him. So there's about to be some shifting and some movement in that area. No kind of timeline. When I ask for a timeline, they're like, well, from anywhere from 2 weeks to, 6 months to, 6 years. Because time is like floofy over there. So nothing like real certain about that. But, fascinating. I always forget to record Ask Your Angels. Well, luckily it's going to be on YouTube and Facebook, so I can download it. So there's that. Those are your messages for today. They want you to talk to them more. So talk to them more. Gurjat, I'm curious if my business is aligned to your soul path or purpose, or if there's something else I should focus on. Your main work is embracing sensuality, healing the inner child, and connecting to inner creativity, as well as moving through fears and limiting beliefs. Cool. So everywhere where the universe needs help. Your business engagement and interest has been really dry, and it's made you discouraged. Okay, babe. So when I asked that question, is your business aligned to your soul path or purpose? The first answer was no. But there's lots of caveats. It's not no, are you on the right path? You're absolutely on the right path. You are trying too hard to squeeze yourself into what you think you are supposed to be doing as far as growing your business. You are trying too hard to follow rules, cookie cutter rules, that simply do not apply to you. There's this, I don't know, the image they're showing me is like, I'm in a hallway, but it's too tight and the walls are like pressing in on me and it's kind of squishy. So that's kind of energetically what you're doing to yourself with your business container. They want you to stop doing what you think you're supposed to be doing. They want you to stop saying what you think other people need to hear in order to do business with you. That is not aligned. What is aligned? What is aligned is being you. When you have something to share that is coming from your soul's fire, that if you don't share it, it feels like you're doing yourself a disservice. That's where they want you to write from, to speak from, to compose from, to create from. They want you to create from the space of fire. The restrictions that you have built around yourself are putting out your soul fire. You know the work you're doing is your soul's work, but the restrictions that you've placed are almost creating like a minimum wage job for you. That's the like dissolution of creative juice, of creative spark, of fire. Stop doing a call to action because you think that's what you're supposed to do. Do a call to action because you cannot help but implore your divine community to do fucking something to heal the wounds that they have. Does that make sense? Do you understand the difference? One is acting from true creative inspiration, from being. One is doing things because that's what feels like must be done. This must be said right now. It cannot go unsaid in this moment. This connection must be made. This program must be born. Something must be done. It's coming from deep within you. Not, what is it that people would pay me for and then let me create something around that? That's not the thing. I understand that's how most business coaches teach. Business coaches don't know how to teach to intuitives, except for my business coach, because he is an intuitive, so he knows how to talk to me. And it's funny because in his like big messaging, he doesn't really talk to intuitives, but in his one-on-one, he's like Zen. The business Buddha. Yes, absolutely. So good. Beautiful. So you're taking too much advice and you're trying to squeeze yourself into a hole that you don't fit. They're like, fucking cut it out. Your divine community will not see you through that cover, through that filter. The filters have to come off. They have to come down. They have to be destroyed, annihilated. I've been in the process of that for such a long time. And last year, one of my goals, because I can relate, one of my goals was I want to, on this side of the window, the me that I am, I want to be that person that people see. Like, it felt like there was still a pane of glass, even though it wasn't beveled. People could see me quite clearly. I wanted the pain to be gone. I wanted me to be who shows up. No filtering, no questioning, no worrying about what will people think. Will people move? Will people be inspired? Is this going to help? Like, just being. And that's the space that they want you to operate from. So that's why your engagement is getting dry. because your divine clients can't see you when you're trying really hard to be something that they're not. I love it. Thanks, Julie. Julie says this is great advice for everyone. So easy to try and succeed by what others say. Spot on, babe. Spot on. We've been taught, we've been groomed to need permission, right? We're groomed to follow the rules from very young ages. So we don't know that it's okay to be ourselves. We feel like someone has to give us permission to be ourselves. So if you need permission to be yourself, here you are. Here's your permission slip. It's from the universe. There you go. You get to be yourself and only yourself. Only. That's the only thing that matters. To this whole entire planet, that's the only thing that matters. Jen, could I please ask them who is on your angel team? Maybe some of the names. You saw them yesterday, but you couldn't. Hi, honey. But you couldn't make out who's who. You were surrounded by many. That's so lovely. Okay, so their first question to you is, why do you care? What does it matter? Absolutely, they don't mind you knowing who they are, but they want you to evaluate your own motivations for wanting to know. Because it's going to spark something. A healing or a realization or an aha or something. So they're asking you, evaluate your motivation for knowing. Okay, that's all they want me to say about that. Good. Azrael is on your team. Whoop, whoop. Love Az. He's the angel of death. He's one of my faves. He also, so funny. He's always worried that he's getting a bad rap for being the angel of death, you know. So he's always like, but I'm also into film noir and I love chocolate, you know. He's like, can you talk about my softer sides? Because Azrael, I mean, anyone who knows who has walked someone across the veil, if you've been with someone through death, you know that it takes an extreme amount of compassion, an extreme amount of selflessness to be able to hold that space for someone, to just witness them in that space. And Azrael, that's what he does. Like, so his level of compassion and softness and gentleness is like more so than any of the other angels that exist, but he's also like in the depth and the darkness in like these really beautiful places. Oh, you always think of him as the cat on Smurfs. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. He's less playful than that because he is kind of somber, but he is very like soft and sweet. So you've got Az. You have two. It's so funny because when we talked about this last week, two popped in right away. And it's funny because I've never done a lot of work with these two, but you have Jophiel, Jophiel, Archangel Jophiel. And you also have Sandalphon. Serafina has Sandalphon too. Sandalphon is like the patron archangel of nature, the earth, the environment, like caring very much about animals and ecosystems and things like that. Ooh, Sandalphon is saying you have a little side something that will spark your passion around these areas. You have a side something. It's not necessarily like to start a business or to start like become a coach, or it's not necessarily like all that, but there's a little something that is about to start calling for your attention where you can bring your natural passion and who you are to this project. Oh, huh. Interesting. Okay. I was like, the logo for Abby's house popped in, and I was like, no, I'm sure it's not that. And I was like, that feels like a super selfish and like self-directed thing. But they were like, No, actually, like there's a part of it that you are going to dig into, and it's going to like really activate certain parts of you that are wanting to explode. But it's not only that, like it's just like your passion for making a difference is going to be sparked. Yeah. You definitely need some, oh, okay, sorry. Sorry. I was about to tell you something that I was thinking in my brain, and they were like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, nothing. Okay, so those are your angels. You've got lots of beings on your team, as you could see, as you could witness. But it's not relevant or important for you to know who everybody is right now. There was just, they wanted to make themselves known to you. Oh, I see. Interesting. They've been pulling on you to know who they are. Is that why? Is that why you? Oh, fascinating. It's almost like it's like they have a string and they're like, they've been pulling on you. Yeah. They're like, hey, 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 know who we are. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Anything else you guys want to say? You're doing great. Lighten up on yourself. Oh, sorry. I wasn't supposed to put on yourself. Okay. Lighten up. I know I have a lot of personal opinions. Okay. So, okay, lighten up, take it easy, within reason. They don't have particularly strict boundaries around action or non-action or rest or they're like, no, you do you, girl. Like you do what feels good for you. Which is why they were getting mad at me interjecting my own opinion about it. Yeah, and they're like, you're doing great. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Oh, I asked about relationship status, and they're like popping champagne, and they're like, good fucking work. And that's all they have to say about that. They're really proud of you. Really, really, really. Beta, what do you need to know or do now? Beta, did you hear your answer to a question last week? No, you didn't. I'm hearing that. Okay. So, oh, you did? Did you go back and listen? Jenna, you have sound up on your team too. That is so cool. I love that. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. So, okay, Beta, this business that you're thinking about investing with, this is not aligned for you. They don't want you to keep getting distracted from your divine purpose. And I can hear you go, but what's my divine purpose? And they're going, you know, honey, you know what your divine purpose is. You know, you're just having trouble committing to growing it because it grows more slowly, right? And it's this healing, this coaching. This is where you belong. And they understand that you're hitting so many more hurdles because you have a deep desire to help women from your culture. This I know, and I can see the hurdles that you're hitting because there's so much lack of self-esteem. It's like they won't even take the step to invest or to even spend time healing themselves because of how unworthy they feel. Got it. Okay, I can feel your resonance. Yes, on that. Okay, so start talking to them as a group. Start a group specifically from women, maybe of your country of origin, of your culture, of your ethnicity. Start a group just for those women. Okay. Hi, Marvin. Hope you're enjoying your Mother's Day. So start a group with just those women and fucking speak to it. Speak to the challenges, speak to the trauma, speak to the abuse, speak to the suppression, speak to the low self-esteem, right? Talk about your experience. You followed me for 3 years before you would allow yourself the audacity to begin your healing journey, right? Speak to it. Speak openly. Speak from your heart. Make a safe space for them. When they feel heard, when they feel seen, when they feel held by you, not judged by you, when they feel championed by you, you'll start to inspire them. You'll start to empower them. They'll start to feel as if maybe they can do it too. This is going to be a longer journey for you, babe. This process is going to be a longer process. First, you're going to have to earn their trust. Then you're going to have to teach them about the mind. Then you're going to have to lead like, challenge upon challenge upon challenge, where you build self-esteem, you speak up for yourself, you talk your truth, you practice being, right? You're just going to have to spend time nurturing and cultivating that space. Kind of similar to how I did with Divine Money Manifesting, right? That group was a group for like 6 years. 6 years, and just a space where I just kept showing up, kept speaking, kept writing, kept talking, kept teaching, kept doing classes, kept doing challenges, kept just being present, okay? That's the direction that you need to go on. And it's going to cost you $0 to build that. Oh, excuse me. They're making an addendum. It will cost you $15 to pay for your Zoom account. That is how much it's going to cost you. You don't need to invest in anything else unless it's working on your own blocks. The stuff that is holding you back. They're like, no more courses. No more courses. No more learning. Books, fine. That's it. No more investing. No more certifications. You don't need a single fucking other thing to start working in your purpose. You don't need to do anything. It's going to cost you, I keep saying zero, $15 to start and continue this journey. Okay, sweetheart? But this is your place. This is why you are here. Stop allowing yourself to get distracted by seemingly quick buttons, the easy button, panacea, that this is going to solve all my problems. That doesn't exist. Because wherever you go, there you are. Got it? So much love to you. I'm so proud of you. You've come so fucking far, Vita. Doing so great. Nancy, you love the direction you're going, but you need guidance with the energy work and spirit animal healing. Okay. Guidance with the energy work and the spirit animal healing. Okay. So you're in the right place. Okay. Interesting. So they gave me a little background on what you're struggling with, Nance. And I just want to know if this resonates. It feels like what you're struggling with is it doesn't feel like enough just to sit and be in this space with people. It doesn't feel like enough. So your confusion comes from wondering what you're supposed to do. And the answer to that is be. The only thing you're supposed to do is to be. And so they're nudging you to start doing some work on not enoughness, because they have some income flow for you. They have some resource flow for you around this. But before you allow yourself to tap into this, You have to calibrate and integrate that it's enough for you to just sit and be with people in this space and let yourself be the conduit, the funnel. It doesn't feel right now like you can charge money for that, and you can. So there's nothing left to do except for to be. Now they're saying in order to get a few testimonials, to get some practice, to get some confidence in your ability to sit and be without having to do anything except for just to be open, be a channel, receive messages, guide, right? Nurture. You're not responsible for anyone's results. Like they need you to understand that you're not going to be able to control the flow of the session. You won't be able to make any promises to people, and you won't be able to be responsible for the results that anyone gets. That's not the purpose. That's not why they have you in this space. They just need you in this energy to get the divine codings, messages, however you want to call it, the divine vibrations. You're a conduit. Same as me. Same as many people on this call. You're just here to pass energy through. You're not responsible for anything. And because of the toll that it takes and the time that it takes, you have to charge money for that in order for it to be a symbiotic exchange with the universe. The universe does not ask you to show up and do your work for free. That's not synchronistic. It's not symbiotic, right? So integrating that it's enough to just show up. You're right on track, sweet pie. You're right on track. You're doing so great. Okay, Shelly, you're so welcome. Oh, the rest of that sentence is if you need practice, do some free sessions for people just in exchange for testimonials. So it's still an energetic exchange, but it's giving you confidence, and you're able to just sit and be with people and let them experience the shifts, let them experience the magic. Shelly says, not sure. This is a question per se, but after the last few weeks in researching foster care and the amount of homeless children out there, what can you do and how do you do it? Your business is new and it's moving slow, but in your mind, you want to do so much more to bring awareness and get help for these kids so they can show you. Oh, so can they show you which direction you should take? Where are you, Shell? No. What area? You're like, I'm here. Perfect. Yes, that's exactly where you need to be. That was the correct answer. If there was a correct answer, that was it. Oh, doing Circle of Hope. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love it. Nance, if you would be open to doing a fundraiser for Abby's house, that would be amazing. Like just, readings for donations or something like that. That would be amazing. I don't want to project that onto you, but if that would help you practice and get testimonials, it would help us too. Shelly, where in the country? Yay! Thank you, Virginia. That would be amazing. I would be super grateful. Virginia. Okay. There's going to be a home out there that perhaps you'll help run, or maybe not. Like, there feels like you're going to be involved in this program, in DÄ Ministries, in Abby's house. It feels like you're going to be involved. So the next steps, it's weird when they tell me to tell you to do something that has to do with me. So I'll just put that out there. But the next steps are that you and I have a conversation about to what capacity you're ready to get going, and start working towards it. And, where in the organization can you see yourself? Things like that. So think about that. Okay, cool. Oh, there are other things you can do, like your little bags and taking it to shelters, where kids are and things like that. There are other things that you can do that will still make a big difference. But I can feel your heart. Your heart feels really passionate about this and like not okay that this is a thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's exciting. There's some caution to you. There's some caution to you. Don't bite off more than you have the capacity to chew. Like, don't take on too much. Think about like where your capacity lies in this work, because your excitement will cause you to say yes to more things than you can do. And your fear of disappointing me will cause you like hurt and like shame that doesn't need to be generated, that doesn't need to be created. So be really, really clear with yourself. So think about that and other things that you can do. Yeah, because this is so beautiful. So beautiful. I love it. Jenna, good morning. You wanted to ask about confirmation that you connected with your healing team yesterday. And if there was any other message they wanted to send. Oh, funny that should be your follow-up question. Do they have any guidance about opening your voice more? Because that is the other message that they wanted to send is speak, speak. Okay, cool. Yep, it was your team. What's funny is they're like rolling their eyes, and I'm like, hey, I told them they could ask. You said that they could ask. They're like, duh, honey. You know, it was us. The guidance that you got yesterday was accurate. Sorry, they popped a message into my head and I can't. They're saying your focus on the messages was too broad. Narrow your focus. They're translating for me. They gave you a message that is about one specific area of your life in particular. And you softened that message to pertain to all of your life because it was a little uncomfortable to receive it for one particular area. But they're saying, no, that message that they sent you was for that one particular area of your life. Narrow your focus. Okay, good. I can feel you copy that. All right, cool. And then tips on how to open your voice more. There's some physical trauma that's trapped in your throat, in your cells, in your energetic throat. It's not just from this lifetime. It's from your soul line. It's from your ancestral path. It's from they're showing me a lineage that's separate from your ancestral path and your soul line, which is like a lineage of witchy women. But it's a different path, which I just would have thought that would go along with ancestral, but it's not. It's like an energetic ancestral path. Oh. They're showing me like apprentice, mage, witch, that there's kind of like a line of witchy women that your soul kind of signed up for across the veil. And so there's a lot of trauma that line is carrying as far as speaking your voice. There's lots of fear around speaking out. You know that you are operating outside the lines of what society deems acceptable, and you understand that that's going to create conflict. So getting used to conflict would also be a recommendation. I softened it a little bit because your team is like, get used to it. Fucking get used to it. Like, you're not going to be able to avoid conflict when you speak your truth, because there's always going to be people that it triggers, because that's part of the catalyzing process. We walk around. Can I add in here? Yeah, sure. Okay. We walk around in a daze, in hypnosis, all of us, humanity, we walk around in hypnosis, stuck in a rut, just doing one thing, same thing, one day to another, playing out our same patterns, one day to another. And it's not until we get a shakeup that we are awoken out of this reverie. Okay. So a shakeup sometimes is an event. A shakeup sometimes is a person. A shakeup sometimes is someone flicking you right on your most wounded trigger, right? That is what is required. So those of us who came here to catalyze and to open and to awaken and to expand simply by being have to get comfortable with conflict. Julie, your truth absolutely triggers people, babe, because you are a powerful catalyzer. You're a powerful sorceress. One of your biggest challenges in this life, Jules, is to rise above your, rise above that. Back to Jenna. So we have to become comfortable with conflict because we'll never be able to avoid it unless we are not being our true selves. You can absolutely avoid conflict when you don't speak. But in order to fully be, you have to speak. Should you still keep following your call to sing and write music? Yes, absolutely, because there's something within the vibration of what you're doing that creates another healing aspect. They're saying it's not going to be your main source of income, but there's a divine creation that's happening that's really, really vital and important that you keep doing. They will give you some more guidance along the way of how to incorporate it. But in the meantime, yes. Shantaya, yesterday you heard that you should contact your mother and family. You're not clear if this was fear talking or the angels. Could the angels confirm what you should do? Finance! Pertaining to your mother. Yes. There is a level of anger that exists deep in your unconscious awareness. Deep in your unconscious mind, there is hate and rage and shame and blame and lots of emotions. And I know that you felt and expressed some of these, but they're saying that you have protected yourself in order to survive by blocking and suppressing some of these emotions that are ready to be released through this rest shakeup period that you're going through. You're trying to heal right now. You are trying to heal your health, but the emotion was so deeply suppressed, you simply don't have access to it. Whereas reconnecting with your mom and your family would give you wide open access to these emotions and to this trauma. You're ready for it. Your body deserves it. Your body needs to release this trauma in order for you to keep healing physically. Like this is the part where you do the emotional dump. I know you've had so many, but the emotional dump that's coming is far more jarring than any you've experienced so far, simply because you did such a great job of keeping the emotions suppressed, if that makes sense. So that's why they're nudging you. It's not for reconciliation necessarily. It's not for like, let's be happy families and pretend that none of that ever existed and pretend that you're a different person, or I'll just keep swallowing my shit sandwiches like I've done my whole life. No, it's not about that. It's not even yet about boundaries, although it might morph into boundaries at some point. It's more you need access to the stuff that's ready to come out, and you just need a point of leverage, and she will, boom, like open up that door and give you direct access to all of that anger and that rage and that hate. And it's imperative during this time that you allow yourself to feel the depth of it. Dive into the depth, all the way in, deep, deep down. Okay. Perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to do a message for Elizabeth, and then I'm going to answer Julie's question, and then we're going to call it a day. So we can all get on with our Mother's Day, namely me. Okay. So, Elizabeth, a word of encouragement. Things are really shitty. Your team is like, they're like sitting around in a circle, like this, like on, like at a table, heads hung, hands together. They're feeling the weight of what you're going through. You're not going through it alone. They're right there, but they're also feeling, they've stepped back, I can feel, because this part, getting through this part, Elizabeth, getting through this moment in time, and it is just a moment. This is not the forever, okay? This is just a moment, but getting through this moment in time is going to teach you what you need to know about the next phase. And I know that's a cliche, like blah, blah, blah. We learn what we need to during the darkest hours, blah, 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 right? It is a cliche, but that's what they're showing me. And they can't do it for you. They need you to know and to see that you don't need to be rescued because you can rescue yourself. They understand you don't feel capable of it. They understand that you're tired. They encourage you to rest when you're tired and then get back up again. You are not doing a bad job. All of those narratives that are playing in your head are not true, they're telling me. You're doing great by just even acknowledging that it's time to start working on some of this stuff. But this is a moment in time. You'll get through it. They're there. And they'll essentially be waiting. They'll be waiting with reconnection right once you're done moving through this. But it's very heavy on them to not be able to be fully present with you while you go through this. Okay, so you're not alone, and it's hard. You've got this. The time is coming to an end. There's just a little bit more of a stretch to move through of this really shitty stuff. But rest so that you can recuperate, so that you can re-energize, so that you can access your creative solutions, and then get back up on the horse. You've got this. Okay, now Julie's question, and then we're done for today. So Julie's questions, were you really talking to your team yesterday? Can they have the drink? You offered it. Was that stupid? Jules, how can you understand them since you couldn't yesterday? Do they have tips for overcoming your fear of talking to people? Oh, can you ask them if they can ease up on the hard stuff a bit and give you some wins? Yes. So, yes, you were talking to your team yesterday. Yep. And they were so proud of you for letting them in. Of course they can have the drink. They can have whatever. It's a mutual exchange of energy. It's not stupid at all. How can you understand them since you couldn't yesterday? They're working on it. They're realizing the things that they're trying to tell you are far beyond where your current level of growth is, where your current mental state is. They're trying to tell you to do things that you don't have the emotional or energetic strength to do it because you're so fucking exhausted, right? So they're working on some solutions around that. They do need to talk with you, but they're working on kind of like meeting you where you're at, as opposed to trying to rush you to where they want you to be. Okay, I can feel your relief around that, because that's what it feels like. It feels like they're constantly pushing you to go faster, 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 higher, 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 harder, 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 more jarring experiences. And you're like, fuck, you're right, stop. And so you're digging your heels in and you're like, no. And then that's why you shut them out, because they push you too hard. They're underestimating the level of jarring that they have put you through. Fuck, man, for the last 30 years. Because on the other side of the veil, you're able to calibrate really quickly. Like when you were little, you bounced back quickly, I'm sure. I'm being told. You bounced back, like your emotional recovery is real fast and complete. But it's like, well, you've been the punching bag for so long, like, you know, like after a while, the punching bag just takes longer and longer and longer to recover. So they haven't been guiding you where you're at. They've been guiding you where you sometimes mostly operate across the veil. So they are, they're receiving your, can you lighten up? Can you ease up on the hard stuff and give you some wins? They're receiving that. They're going to ease up on the hard stuff. They're going to talk to you where you're at and give you suggestions that are more like present based, not future who you can be based, not based in your potential, essentially. But they are going to require that you do the practice, the exercise frequently. They need you to take responsibility for your side, like we talked about yesterday in class. And they're saying they have been giving you some wins, but you're just not seeing it. So they're asking, can you keep an eye out for wins rather than disqualify them or discredit them? Okay. That's the entirety of their message to you. Oh, sweetheart. You didn't even need to go before the council. You could talk directly to your team. Oh, it was the council. The council showed up for today. Whoa. Thank you. Received. They're going to soften up. Oh, Elizabeth, you're so welcome, sweetheart. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Oh, so much love to you all. Tuesday, we are working on awakening your discernment. So we've been talking about building trust, noticing red flags. How can you tell if someone is a trustworthy person? Noticing the green flags, which ironically is so much harder than noticing the red flags. So we've been talking about how you can build trust. Now we're going to move into activating the system that lets you notice when the red flags are showing up and when the green flags are showing up. So we're turning on discernment or turning up discernment on Tuesday. All you have to do in order to be part of that class is be on my email list, because I just sent the Zoom link out the day of, because Monday's my day off. So the morning of, and classes tend to be now Tuesdays at 1:30. So if you want to come to class, then you can just come Tuesdays at 1:30. It's always the same link. And all you have to do, is be on my email list and you get the link. But so much love to everybody. Happy Mother's Day to the mamas, and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you Tuesday. I'll see you next Sunday. I'll be seeing you. Bye. Thank you for coming.